Okay, welcome back everyone to the Athlete's Mind podcast. We are back again with another basketball episode. You guys seem to really like these ones. So today we have Zulymar on the podcast. Thank you for coming on. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you are in LA at the moment. Is that right?
Yes, for AAU, I'm in LA, but I live in Orange County.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. So how are you finding it over there at the moment?
It's very easy because I'm determined to, get better at basketball. So whatever it takes, I'm willing to do.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So when we have our athletes on the podcast, the first question we always ask is how you actually got into playing basketball. What does the journey sort of look like from the start to now?
So basically, like I kind of grew up around basketball because my brothers used to play before me.
Yeah.
And initially, how I first started was my sister had took me to my first basketball tryouts, and I ended up making the team. And that's when I started with boys.
Nice. Yeah. So how many teams have you played for so far? I'm sure there'd be quite a lot on the list, but rough estimate on that.
So when I first started, I played with YBT Elite. I was on them for a little bit, and then that was my boys team that I first tried out for.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I switched to girls, which I currently play with girls now. I was on OC Rain based off in Orange County.
Yeah, nice.
And
Sorry,
I
how old were you when you moved to just playing with girls?
um I was still the same age, so I was about 12.
Okay. Yeah. And have you played any other sports growing up, or has the main focus just been basketball?
Yeah, when I was younger, I played soccer and I played that for 2 years, realized it wasn't my passion, and now I just do basketball.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, soccer's good. I play a bit of that as well, but yeah. So you currently have a national campaign running. Sort of explain how that's going and how you actually got into all of that.
I do have a national campaign for Ethica, and that happened because the Ethica representative, went up to my trainer, Paris, and, she asked if she knew any kid that would be interested in, doing the photo shoot for them. And he had mentioned my name and asked if I could do it. So then he went and emailed my dad and said if I would be interested. And then that's when my dad told me, and I was interested. So we ended up doing it.
Yeah, awesome. And as well as that, you have an influencer sponsorship. How has that experience been, especially at a young age, doing all of that?
Oh yeah, it's a blessing because I would have never expected it. I got to experience like many new things. Like I got to meet some new people that I didn't know before. And then I also got to experience like cameras being around. I mean, I've been around cameras, but it wasn't for the sole purpose of me. So,
Mm.
it was based off of me.
Yeah.
And
Were you a little nervous when you first started getting in front of the camera, and have you sort of adapted now?
I wasn't really nervous because, like I mentioned before, I was around cameras. So
Mm.
it wasn't something that I was completely brand new to.
Yeah. And you were very involved in the whole social media side of things. What is your opinion on social media as a whole? Do you think it's good to influence people and get them into basketball?
I feel like social media is a great place because like it's a good place to put your ideas out and for people around the world to get familiarized with your name. And I feel like it's good to influence people because they might be able to take into consideration your ideas and make it to where they fit theirs.
Yeah. Do you think there's any negatives to it?
There are negatives to it because like you might receive some rude and obnoxious comments, which obviously some people may know, and it may change what good could be. So it may turn out bad or change people's perceptions, which never happened to me, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I think with social media, like most of the athletes that we have had on, obviously there are positives to it. It inspires people, which is what you're doing. I'm sure people are inspired by you. But like you said, the negatives, the comments, it can sometimes get to people. But I think if athletes can learn to block that out, it's good. Now, your dad, Antonio, he seems to be very involved in your career, which is, that's great to see. Would you say he's been your biggest role model in your career?
Yeah, my dad is very involved in my career and, he pushes me to go stronger when I need it the most. So I would say he's my biggest role model because he stays strong with me.
Nice. Is there anyone else that sort of, I'm sure there is a long list of people, but anyone else that sort of helps you in that aspect?
Yes, I have my whole family for like guidance and stuff like that. They push me, they tell me what I could do better and stuff like that because I'm not the most perfect player. There's still things I need to work on because I'm still young and I'm willing to learn because I want to get better. So
Yeah.
I have my family, I have friends.
Yeah, that's cool. And who is someone you look up to in, a pro level, maybe the WNBA or NBA? Any players that you model your game after, maybe?
Some people I model my game after is like Sue Bird and Destiny Henderson because I feel like their skill set is like really high. But of course, it comes with practice. They practice very hard. And I feel like I can relate to them on like a level because, first of all, Destiny's short, like I am. I'm a short guard. And
Hmm.
then there's Sue Bird, who's a point guard. So she's kind of like the floor general. And I feel like I could pick up some things off of her to improve my game.
Nice, nice. And you have done going on to training. You've done training for Pro Vision with Ryan Crad, Sean Marshall, Dylan Imardi, and some others. How much have they helped you take your game to another level?
I have done training with Pros Vision and they developed me since like the beginning because I haven't been playing basketball that long. So
Mm,
for example, all of them have like taught me many different things. Like Sean has taught me how to fasten up my handles because when I first came to him, I couldn't even dribble the ball without losing it. So he's taught me how to fasten my handles and he's also taught me how to have different options when going against different defenses. Because when you go against different people, they have different defenses. So
yeah,
like some people might have like a 2-3 press or some people might have a man you have to
mm,
have different options because if you don't, like you only have like one set and it'll be easy to guard. You'll most likely lose if you don't have many options. Especially me being a point guard, I have to have many options.
of course, yeah.
I have Ryan. He's taught me footwork and he sharpened me up as a player, like all around. And he's also taught me how to stay mentally strong because if you're not mentally strong, there will be people at your games eventually. When you get to the higher level, there will be people that try to say things to get into your head and take you out your game. So when people start doing it to me, it won't be anything new because, he's already trained me to be mentally strong.
Mm,
And then, yes, like you mentioned, I do have my trainer, Dylan Nimari. He's from something different. He's from the hoop house. He's focused on what I feel is one of the main important things for a short guard is a shooting, to be able to shoot. He's made me stronger, more consistent on my shooting. And he's also taught me the ability to change speeds and finish through contact and basically just be overall a strong player. And I feel like with all these trainers, they like basically just took my whole talent to a whole different level and have made me the player I am today.
nice. That's cool that you have the trainers like helping you with different parts of your game. It was interesting that you mentioned the mental side as well. That's definitely like really important that you're getting ready for that and your trainers like preparing you for that early. Because especially like you said, when you get to the higher level, it is something that, players, if they're not ready for it, it can be a bit of a shock, I think. So that's good that you're getting ready for that. And you are part of a Nike sponsor team called West Coast Premier in LA. What has that been like, the experience being a part of that?
Yeah, backstory is I remember how I said I used to play on a team back in Orange County.
Yep.
I kind of grew the competition and I felt like it was time for a change. So that's when I went and tried out for West Coast Premier. I made the team and everything, it was completely different ball game. I mean, everybody was different. I met people that were taller than me. And like I finally got to understand what my trainers were teaching me and what the sole purpose of it was because my trainers could teach me something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I've got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I feel like is like some people say like there's a practice player and then there's a actual player that can apply it to the game,
Mm,
and if I feel like all my trainers are just teaching me something, like there won't be really no sole purpose unless I'm able to apply it to the game.
yeah.
I feel like, and that just taught me and changed me as a person in just general, like on the floor.
Nice. Yeah. And you do a lot of training, especially for your age. Are there ever times where you get tired or, a bit burnt out? Do you try to have a balance with training and, maybe spending time with family, friends?
Yeah, me personally, I feel like it's better that I'm doing more training at a young age because me myself, like I have a lot of energy. I'm gonna be for real. I have energy
Yeah.
and I just love to do things. That's just me who I am. And I feel like me doing this at such a young age is just gonna have more of progress for me and faster progress. So I feel like I never get tired because I wouldn't put myself to do something that I know I can't fully commit to or I knew I wouldn't do good. Like I like challenges, but I wouldn't put myself to know that I can't keep up with what I love. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? So I do try to balance it though, so that it doesn't feel like everything just revolves around basketball. which it does to me, but I would like to have other things to do. You know what I'm saying?
Of
So
course.
like when I'm doing my reps, I either recover or I sleep because I love to sleep. I
Yeah.
do that majority of the time, or if I'm not doing that, I'm hanging out with friends, being social like every kid should.
Yeah, because I think it is very important to have a balance. Because I think we interviewed a basketball recently, Jaden Cecile. He sort of talked about how he trains a lot, but it's important for him to have that balance because you can get burnt out. But like you said, you're young, full of energy, so I think it's good to take advantage of that. Train a lot, and at the end of the day, it's what you love, so why not? And something that we do ask is, yeah, and you are young, so this question is a bit open-ended, but what are your goals for the future? Do you have anything in mind that you want to achieve specifically?
Yeah, one of my biggest goals for myself, and might be for others, which is one of my biggest goals is, to stay me and like just be a better version of myself by the time I get older. Like
Yeah.
see improvement. And something I want to achieve is become a McDonald's All-American, like every basketball player wants to, like what they like to call a burger girl.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want to do when I get older.
Nice. Yeah. And what about like maybe WNBA? Any aspirations with that sort of
Yeah,
league?
yeah, that's the main goal.
Yeah.
That's complete main goal is to get there.
Yeah. And something that we do also like to ask is, sort of going back to that mental side of things, like before a basketball game, what does your pre-game routine look like? Is there anything that you do to get you ready? Do you have a set routine, or do you just sort of go with the flow?
I do have a set routine, but my pregame routine isn't like nothing too special. So basically, I sleep a lot, like I mentioned before. I feel like that's just a great way for me to like maintain my energy. So I'm not like just wasting it. It's like it's getting refueled while I'm sleeping. So I
Mm,
wake up, but I do wake up 3 hours before my game. And when I do wake up 3 hours before my game, the first thing I do is take all my vitamins because that's key. And
yeah.
then second, I fix my hair because when I wake up, my bed head is crazy. Like it goes crazy. Like right now I have my clothes done because that's part of my routine.
Yeah.
But if I didn't, like my bed head would go crazy. And then what else I like to do is, eat because you can't play a game without no energy. Play on an empty stomach, that's not gonna be a good game.
Yeah, it's bad. You mentioned the bed hair. Yeah, I mean, with me, because I got like curly hair, that happens with me when I wake up as well. It's not good. So yeah. And are there any cool moments you can think of playing basketball? Maybe buzzer beaters or just a big win that you've had recently?
Yes, I have had cool moments. Like, for example, there was one time where I did have this tournament with my team. And on Saturday, we ended up unfortunately losing both games, which put us at third place.
Mm,
So on Sunday, I came back with a different mentality because I knew we had to win. So when I came in with a different mentality, we ended up winning both games,
mm.
right? And we ended up getting first place. And I was the MVP for that tournament.
Nice.
And that was my first time being MVP since I first started. So it
Mm.
was definitely confidence boosting.
Yeah, definitely a memory, I can say. Would you say basketball has taught you important life lessons? Like a lot of athletes say, like on the court, it's changed their life. But what about off the court? Have you learned anything from basketball that you've been able to apply to other areas?
Yeah, I've learned definitely a lot of things. It's definitely taught me a lot of lessons as a kid. So me personally, I feel like it's taught me how to be patient and calm
Mm,
because I feel like if I'm not patient, like I won't see my results as fast. Like, if I don't see my results or something like that, or like if you're not patient to see the results like that you put in, like obviously when you put work on the court, you want to see results fast.
yeah.
It's not going to happen because you need to keep on working. It's
Mm,
not just you do something and I got it. It's something that's consistent.
mm,
It's consistent growth, like what I like to call it. And if I'm patient, I'm gonna eventually see the results.
mm.
So I feel like staying patient and calm has taught me like how to be the person I am because it's taught me how to get better.
Yeah, that's actually awesome to hear that at your age you're already learning that, because I know a lot of even people my age or younger kids, they just want it like that, like without putting in any work. They just,
Exactly.
people are impatient, but if you can learn to be patient, like you said, that's a very, very good skill to have, I think. So that's good.
With not being patient, you don't want to lose love for the passion you have because
Yeah,
you don't see what you think you should be. But if
100%.
you work to think what you should be, then it'll come.
Yeah, well said. And what advice would you give to younger athletes around your age who have dreams to play high levels in sports or even just get into the sport?
Advice I would give to people is like, don't let people's opinions define who you are. Like, if you feel you could do it for the better of you, not for the better of people's perceptions. Because if you do that, you're not benefiting yourself, you're benefiting other people's perceptions on you, which you never want to do.
Yeah, because I think like, at the end of the day, you have your goals and you want to sort of go for that. Whatever people think of you, it doesn't matter. You just gotta, follow your passion. Now the last question we always ask before our athletes leave is if you could be any athlete in the world, who would it be and why? It can be past or present, and it doesn't have to be basketball.
So somebody I want to be, if I had to choose to be, I would definitely be Kobe Bryant because I feel like he's just a well-rounded person in general, off and on the court. Because off the court, it's like he wants himself to win, of course, which everybody wants, but he also wants the people around him to win. And I
Mm,
say that because he was one of the big like people for the girls basketball. You know, he had his team, AAU team, which a lot of people know, a lot of people were on it. You know, so I feel like he's a big inspiration to others and me myself,
yeah,
very caring for the community.
yeah. And he was, very, very hardworking. Yeah, probably the hardest working athlete that I've probably ever seen. And yeah, great inspiration. That is a good one. No one has said that one before. So nice. That about wraps it up. So thank you for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it. It's good to have the younger athletes come on as well. The basketballers, people love them. So yeah, thanks once again. Everyone listening and watching, this will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Go and check out the Instagram, the TikTok. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you.